Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do an update on Mackenzie Lueck because, oh my god, is there a bombshell. Since Ajayi's arrest on June 28th, multiple women have contacted the news network in Salt Lake City, Utah, painting a picture of a man who was very active on online dating apps and various social media networks. The women who interacted with Ajayi online said he painted a very different picture than what they experienced in their interactions with him. I'm assuming freak much? And while most of the women were not comfortable interviewing on camera, the women told KSL they communicated with Ajayi on various social platforms, including Tinder, Snapchat, and Mutual, among others. At some point, the women all say Ajayi crossed a line. I went to pronouncenames.com to learn how to say his name correctly. In the initial search of Ajayi's criminal history in Utah came up clean across the state, new information has emerged. In November 2014, a reported rape victim, an adult woman, made a complaint against Ajayi with the North Park Police Department, saying she did not want to pursue charges against him, but that she wanted the assault on file in case he did the same thing to someone else. According to the police report, the victim told law enforcement Ajayi sent her text messages asking her to come over to his home. Once there, she found herself in a compromising situation and wanted to get out. The complaint states she stated that she told him no, and despite telling her he wouldn't take things any further, the woman told police Ajayi did. She said she felt she wasn't assertive enough and charges were never filed. In July 2012, Utah State University police arrested Ajayi for possession of stolen property, a Class B misdemeanor. However, there is no longer any record of the case. Which may explain why the charge didn't show up in the criminal history search. Either he got a lawyer or he got it expunged. Cache County officials we spoke with said the best explanation is the case was expunged, just like I said, meaning it had never happened. You can pay to have that done. The police report stated that Ajayi was using a stolen iPad that was full of his information and apps. Police reviewed the iPad and learned he was using it to find a female and a prospect to marry to keep him from being deported. That is, even though court records show he was already married to a woman named Tanisha Jenkins Ajayi, and he had been since June 2011. Public records show the two were married in Dallas, Texas. Jenkins is quoted in media interviews as saying she hasn't lived with Ajayi in years. She said he threatened to kidnap her and kill her if she didn't move to Utah. Although the marriage wasn't over until January of this year, websites say Ajayi was using on the alleged stolen iPad at the time in 2012 still showed his relationship status as single. Sarah says Ajayi obtained her friend's cell phone number through a church directory app. It is scary. It is really scary, and it makes me not want to trust anyone and not to use any apps or anything, she had stated. Ajayi was on the roster of the same Salt Lake City area mid-singles ward of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Wow. As both women. Ajayi was legally married when he joined. Ajayi sent the text messages not even 2 weeks prior to Mackenzie's murder. I was shaking when I found out when I saw that. I knew he had asked my friend out, but I realized that on June 5th that happened. It shook me and a lot of my girlfriends in the ward, Sarah said. He said, hey, like, I haven't talked to you at church. I'm just really shy, but maybe we can get to know each other and I can take you out. And she said, no thanks. Sarah said she is relieved her friend didn't go out with him. She believes some women feel obligated to go out on a date with a man simply because they asked. No, ladies, that's not true. But that's not what is taught in especially a conservative culture. Being in a patriarchal society, a conservative religious culture where women are maybe taught to be nice, to be quiet, to be small, to sit there and look pretty, to say yes, to, not ruffle anybody's feathers. I want that mentality to be out of the way. I want that gone because women are strong and Mormon women are strong. We have voices. Let's honor our history of our foremothers before. Let's use our voices and let's also say no as a way to take care of ourselves. It's a great idea, Sarah. Sarah says the fact that Ajayi was able to obtain the women's numbers the way he did is concerning, and it is. I don't want somebody to be able to get my phone number through a tools app. I have it where it's not even supposed to be in a phone book. I don't know. The part that is the most disturbing is the fact that all of the information is just out there for anyone who just wants it. It's a member of our ward. Oh, okay. The information's there for anybody who wants it that's a member of their ward. You don't know if they're a good person or not. That is very true. But they have your email address now, your phone number, and your home address, she said. She wants more action to be taken to protect people's information. Sarah says, I want there to be an opt-in option. Great idea. If someone wants to get in touch with me, they can find me online in other ways. They don't have to have my address just so easily accessible to them. Exactly. Ajayi, who is from Nigeria, Africa, represented himself online as an educated, aspiring fitness model and an author, a soldier, and an IT professional. Because Ajayi controlled the narrative online, he was able to at least, at times, stretch the truth, creating an online persona that does not match what investigators have uncovered since the suspect was identified. We also know now that although Ajayi claims to have attended London South Bank University, student services and registry teams for the college confirms Ajayi was never a student there. Big surprise. Public records for the Nigerian man shows he was divorced in January this year after being legally married for nearly 8 years. He had been in the United States for at least a decade after traveling to Logan, Utah to attend Utah State University on a student visa. Here's the bombshell. Ajayi wrote a book called Forged Identity, and it's about 2 murders. Amazon was selling it, and I guess now it is currently not for sale. You can still see it or buy it on Goodreads, but I'm going to show you a couple of ratings about it. This is the biography on Ajayi, and then we'll continue just to look at it. Ajayi ANOTHER was born and raised in Africa. He had been a salesman, an entrepreneur, and a writer. He has survived a tyrannical dictatorship, escaped a real-life crime, traveled internationally, excelled professionally in several industries, and is currently curating a multi-platform advertising campaign for his debut novel, Forged Identity, a sample of which can be found on Kindle, Amazon, Facebook, and any current social media. He lives in Salt Lake. So we go on to read one of the reviews of the book was from 2018, so obviously before he murdered Mackenzie. 2 out of 5 stars. Not for me. September 1st, 2018, format Kindle edition. I won this Kindle in a Goodreads giveaway. Thinks I'm to leave an unbiased review, which I will try to do. I just truly couldn't get into the book. The beginning was rather vague, and I had to look up OPC, which stands for the Aduda, I butchered that, People's Congress in Nigeria. The book is about Ezekiel, a 15-year-old who witnesses a gruesome murder, and then not much later, another horrific murder of a dear friend. I couldn't feel any connection with anyone in the book and did skip a lot. This book was just not for my tastes. Sorry. is what's interesting is Ezekiel, 15 years old, who's witnessed a gruesome murder. I wonder if that is not Ajayi, like, stating his life, right? I don't know. I'm speculating. But interesting to say the least. And that was the only thing they had on there. So I wanted to show you guys that, though. He did have a book, and I did show you the cover of it, and Amazon needs to pull this book immediately, and I do believe it is pulled from the shelves. You cannot buy it at Amazon, but if you do want to see it, Goodreads still has it. Ajayi, self-published less than a year before the alleged murder, is no longer available on Amazon. It is still listed on Goodreads, which is owned by Amazon, so I don't understand that. But I've told you that a couple times already, so moving on. Sorry. At least 2 characters die by being burned alive, according to a plot description for the book found on Goodreads. Okay, here's a little description of the book. Ezekiel was almost 15 when he witnessed a gruesome murder. An angry mob burned his neighbor alive in the street, and the man died at his feet. Sadly, it was not the last time he witnessed such horror. It continues, with his well-respected father as a guide and mentor. Ezekiel saw this death, then a death much closer to home when a loved one was killed in the same brutal, terrifying way 50 feet from him, and he could not do anything to stop it. People are now flooding to the book's Goodread to read the reviews and posting for it to be pulled, which I showed you already. Goodreads needs to pull this. Amazon already did, and they're owned by the same company, so again, it makes no sense. I'm sorry to keep repeating myself on that. A spokesperson for Goodreads did not immediately return a request for comment from Lueck. Was last seen June 17th after traveling from Los Angeles to Salt Lake City. After her flight landed around 2 a.m., she took a lift north to Salt Lake City when she was dropped off at a park, and we know what happened from there. So, anyways, that's the bombshell. This guy wrote a book, and it was about murders and about burning bodies. Quite creepy, and I knew the individual, like, just looking at him wasn't all right. So I don't know if he is possibly giving us details on what happened to him in his life, or if this is something he's done. I don't know, but it is concerning to say the least. I'm pretty sure we're going to end up getting way more information on this guy as time goes along. But he did try to cover his tracks. I mean, getting his things expunged and trying to keep a clean record. And then he's wanting this weird room built, and now he has a book. I mean, wow. Rest in peace, Mackenzie, because this is super sad.